The MacBook Pro 13-inch is our second best-selling laptop, which is why this year we decided to overhaul and change everything about the chip. It has an M2 chip, which is incrementally better than the M1. Everything else is the same though. Yeah. The M1 MacBook Air revolutionized the laptop market in 2020 with its great entry price to performance, and this year, we are bringing it back with the M2 MacBook Air. It has a whole new design and is $200 more with up to a 50% slower SSD. Wait, who wrote this? Tim? Was that you? It's not in here. Guys, it's not funny. Apple. Think money. Think different. What is up, guys? Justendo here. Buying a MacBook in 2022 might be daunting with all the different options available. Should you get the Air? If so, what model of the Air? What about the 3 different MacBook Pro models? In this video, we'll cover all of that and more. So, let's check it out. The first model I will go over is the entry-level M1 MacBook Air. I will straight up just say that this is the go-to model for most people. It starts at $999, Apple still sells it to this day as it is their best-selling MacBook model, and it comes at a great entry price, making it a good value for the performance you get from the M1 chip. The base model comes with an M1 chip that has 7 GPU cores, 256GB base storage, and 8GB of RAM or unified memory. This model received the most attention out of the M1 family of chips when it released in 2020, and for a good reason. It is crazy powerful for the price you pay. The M1 chip can handle web browsing, photo editing, video editing, coding, note-taking, and more. Any basic computer task like emails won't make this computer sweat at all. If you are a student in high school, going to college, or just a person needing a simple laptop and you want a Mac, this is the default option, and I highly recommend this model to the average person. This model is so good that you can get away with intense 1080p video editing or even light 4K editing. It weighs only 2.8 pounds, and a factor that is appealing in a lot of people is that it can perform at maximum capacity without a fan for long periods of time, unless you plan to game or export large projects, in which only then will it get remotely warm. The battery life is also amazing at 18 hours of video playback time, making this not only a lightweight, thin, powerful laptop, but a battery powerhouse on top of it all. If you plan to upgrade anything at all, maybe bump the storage to 512GB and the RAM to 16GB if you plan to do anything heavy on it. And this laptop will have headroom to last you 5 years or more. Another model that Apple currently sells is the M2 MacBook Air. It has a much needed design refresh that overhauls everything. It adds in a bigger screen from 13 inches to 13.6 inches at the cost of a notch, and it gets rid of the wedge to have an overall thin design that makes it look like a skinnier, lighter version of the 14-inch MacBook Pro. It also brings back the beloved MagSafe charger. These design changes all come with a price increase of $200 over the M1 13-inch Air for the same base storage of 256GB and 8GB of RAM. This is the second go-to model I would recommend to most people, as many of the benefits from the M1 Air are present here as well, but the value of the computer isn't as obvious with the $200 price hike. The price makes this model not as easy to recommend over the M1 Air for most people just needing a laptop, but if I were to summarize it, it is for people that have a little extra money to spend over the M1 Air and want a newer design language and benefits like the M2 chip, MagSafe charger, and so forth. Remember that upgrading the storage or RAM is pricey, and even a small upgrade to the 512GB model will put you in the $1,500 territory. If you are on a budget and want more internal storage, I would suggest just getting an M1 Air and upgrading that model instead. The M2 MacBook Pro 13-inch is in a strange situation. In a vacuum, it is a remarkable computer. It starts at $1299, has a fan for sustained performance, a touch bar for fans of that feature, and has the new M2 chip and weighs only 3 pounds. When you look at the options it is next to, however, it starts to look less enticing. For one, it's $100 more than the M2 Air that has an all-new design, MagSafe charger with the 2 USB-C ports on top of it, a bigger screen, and is lighter. The redeeming features of the M2 Pro 13-inch is superior battery life at 20 hours of video playback, a fan for sustained workloads, and maybe the touch bar. The design of that MacBook is definitely dated, as it is the same design from 2016. This laptop is for those who want the cheapest MacBook Pro, at least in name, possible, and do video editing or exporting large projects, all while not necessarily needing the power of the 14-inch or 16-inch MacBook Pro. Keep in mind that if you upgrade anything on this 13-inch MacBook Pro, like the RAM or storage, you're reaching 14-inch MacBook Pro territory, which starts at $1999 and is well worth the upgrade to those models for just a little bit more money. Speaking of the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros, those are quite possibly the best MacBook Pro models Apple has ever made. These come with either an M1 Pro or M1 Max configuration, depending on which you choose. The base model 14-inch starts with 512 gigabytes of storage and 16 gigabytes of RAM by default, so you get that value from the start. They bring back fan-favorite ports that were removed in 2016, such as the SD card slot, HDMI, and MagSafe charger. These models are thicker than all of the previously mentioned MacBooks, so be prepared for that, as well as heavier too. These are aimed at professionals that need as much portable power as possible in a Mac. If you are a professional and in need of power, you already know that these MacBooks are for you. If you need to question if you should get these or not, then you probably don't need or have a workload that would take advantage of these computers. But if you are the kind of person who wants the best of the best, then these are great computers, as they will offer the biggest screen sizes of all the MacBooks and quality of life improvements like the ProMotion mini LED displays and ports. The battery life on these models are amazing as well, though they don't beat out the 13-inch M2 model in battery life stamina. To keep it simple, if you are shopping online for a MacBook and the model you are on is an Intel model from 2016 to 2019, you need to go to the top of the webpage, click out of it, and look up M1 MacBooks. The transition to Apple Silicon brings a lot of value for the performance with less heat, more power, and the removal of the dreaded butterfly keyboards. The 2016 through 2019 era of MacBooks are considered the recent dark ages for Macs, and you should try to avoid buying these models in 2022. For 90% of people, I suggest the M1 MacBook Air 13-inch. If you want to treat yourself to the M2 MacBook Air, then it is a nice upgrade for $200 more. I would skip the M2 MacBook Pro 13-inch and go straight to the 14-inch or 16-inch models if you need more power, or get an M1 13-inch MacBook Pro if you can find one on sale. If you guys enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video and subscribe so I can continue to make videos that I hope can help people with their tech decisions. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and good luck getting your next MacBook.